The Ford Fiesta is easily the most popular super mini in the UK, but what if you want something a little bit different and a little bit more, well, Japanese? I'm joined by the Mazda2, but is it any good? Well, let's jump in and find out. Right, and away we go. So I've only got this car for a limited amount of time, so this is very much a first drive video, not a full comprehensive review, but hopefully I should be able to give you enough of an impression to tell you what it is like to drive. Anyway, on the road, so key to start. So this particular model is the Black Plus edition. Only 500 will be made, so this is of course a limited edition model. There's just one engine to choose from. It's a naturally aspirated 1.5 litre petrol engine which produces 90 horsepower, which I know isn't particularly powerful. Now if you go for a different Mazda 2 variant, you can get a 115 horsepower engine. Or if you want a lower powered one, you can also have a 75 horsepower unit. But like I say, this car has got the 90 horsepower unit. Along with 90 horsepower, I have 148 Newton meters of torque. So this car will hit 62 miles per hour in just under 10 seconds and continue to a top speed of 117 miles per hour. But of course, those are just figures. What is it actually like to drive? Well, because it's naturally aspirated, the power delivery, well, the power is pretty much at the top end. So this is a car that will need to be revved out, unlike a turbocharged petrol engine you would get in a Ford Fiesta, of course. And for some, that may be a good thing, but this car is, I was going to say hard work. I think that would be harsh, but you do need to work to get to the performance. It's not given to you on a plate. Come on, come on. There we go. The power really starts to come in at about 4,000 revs, and this car revs out to a little over 6,000 revs. The engine doesn't sound particularly fantastic either, but to be honest, for most of you watching, you're not really too concerned. This is a family car, so you just want to know how practical it is and how frugal it is, of course. Speaking of which, let's talk about fuel economy. So on a combined run, this car will offer up to 57.7 mpg, which is pretty good for a small family runabout, and it emits 111 grams of CO2, meaning for the first year of VED, you will be required to pay £165. So that's fuel economy covered. What about space? The front offers a good amount of space, there's a good amount of cubby holes, but rear space won't be good for taller passengers like myself. I'm 6'2". However, it should be fine for children or smaller adults, and it's no worse than a Ford Fiesta. But if you want a super mini with a better amount of rear space, then take a look at the SE-L Ibiza. In regards to boot space, it's not too bad, but it's not the biggest in class. It offers 280 litres with the rear seats up, but if you want to fold them down, you'll get 980 litres. Overall, the boot isn't bad, but it's not quite as large as the Ford Fiesta or the SE-L Ibiza. This power is mated to a 5-speed manual gearbox and of course the front wheels. The gear changes are okay, they're not bad, but they're not a highlight feature of this car. They're snappy enough, got no real complaints. The steering weight, again, it's not too bad. I would want it to be a little bit heavier, but that's personal preference. I like my steering to be quite heavy, in all honesty. So I imagine for most of you watching, the steering will be absolutely fine. It's direct. Feedback is okay, hasn't got masses of it. However, this car does handle pretty well. It's flat through the corners, it hasn't got much body roll, there's a good amount of grip, and you can throw this car into corners and it does bring a smile to your face. The ride isn't perfect. I'm on a smooth road doing around 50 and it's fine right now. However, when you're doing 30 around town or lower speeds, it is quite jiggly and it is very fidgety. So it's not quite as composed as other cars in its class. the Fiesta, for example. But like I said, once you get up to speed like I have done now, it's perfectly compliant. So there have been a few changes made to the recent Mazda 2. So for example, it's got more noise insulation to make it an easier car to live with. It offers better refinement. It's not too bad in here, but I can definitely hear some tyre noise creeping in, although wind noise, not too bad at all. In regards to other changes, the front and rear dampers have been tweaked, and there's also a modified anti-roll bar to give better comfort and also to give better handling. There's also new seat fabrics in here as well. I've got a different steering wheel. So quite a bit of effort has gone into improving the Mazda 2. Now at this point you may be wondering why it's called Black Plus, because this car is in fact dynamic blue, but it's all about the black detailing. So have a closer look and you'll see the black alloys and the black spoiler, and it's a handsome looking car. The Black Plus starts from £15,795 and it's based on the SE-L Nav Plus model. This means you get features such as climate control, cruise control with adjustable speed limiter, keyless start, rear electric windows, automatic lights and wipers, LED front fog lights, rear parking sensors, 7-inch infotainment system with DAB radio, Bluetooth and navigation, and a steering wheel and gear knob trimmed in leather. But because this is the Black Plus model, you also get rear privacy glass, 16-inch black alloy wheels, and a black roof spoiler. This car is also available in a choice of 3 standard colours: dynamic blue, deep crimson, or machine grey. So although this car is called Black Plus, you can't actually have it in black if you wanted to. Yeah, I can't quite work that one out either, but never mind. Just in case you're too late to buy a Black Plus model, or you don't quite fancy this particular model, there are of course other trim levels available. So you've got SE Plus, SE-L Plus, SE-L Nav Plus, Black Plus Edition, Sport Nav Plus, and the new range-topping GT Sport Nav Plus. These trim levels range from £13,595 through to £16,795. Let's move things on to safety. This car isn't quite as safe as some of its rivals because it's got 4 stars from Euro NCAP instead of 5, but it should be absolutely fine for your family as it still offers a good amount of safety equipment. As standard, this car features 6 airbags, hill hold assist, lane departure warning and autonomous emergency braking. So this car is quite competitively priced. It's pretty much cheaper than all of its rivals, bar the Kia Rio and the Suzuki Swift, and it's about the same as a Vauxhall Corsa, but its main rival, the Ford Fiesta, this is cheaper. So if you're looking for a small family runabout, which is at a good price, then be sure to check out the Mazda 2. But I would want Mazda to offer a turbocharger for this car, because a naturally aspirated engine can be fun, but it would be good to have a turbo option. Mind you, where this car really comes to life is in the corners, because it does handle well. You can tell that this has come from the same company that builds the MX-5, because this is a fun little thing. Oh, blimey, I wasn't quite expecting that. A bit of a crest. As I'm going down this country lane, I can report that there's a cat in the road. I wasn't quite expecting that. Just a random cat just walked out in front of me. I can report that the ride is a little bit bouncy, it's a little bit choppy. I can feel the car moving up and down a little bit. Is it uncomfortable? No. More of an observation as opposed to a complaint. But I've got no complaints about how this car handles. Is it better than a Fiesta? Oh, I don't know. I think I'd have to drive both cars back to back to give you a definitive answer, but there can't be much in it. However, I would say the Fiesta has got a more compliant ride, and it is a bit more comfortable. So my time with the Mazda 2 has pretty much come to an end, and although I would want a different engine in this car, personally I would want a turbocharger, but the engine may be so-so. However, the handling is a definite highlight of this car. Is it the best car in its class? No, it's not as an overall package, but if you're looking for a small family runabout and for whatever reason you don't fancy a Fiesta, or you want a cheaper car than a Fiesta and you want it to handle well, then be sure to check out the Mazda 2. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, give it a massive thumbs up. If you are subscribed, don't forget to click that bell icon so you get notified every time I make a video. And if you aren't subscribed, guys, what are you waiting for? Be sure to subscribe for more car obsession.
Any ideas?